Okay, on this video we're going to be adding and subtracting fractions with uncommon denominators and common denominators. Remember, in a fraction your top number is the numerator, bottom number is the denominator. We have to make those denominators the same unit, so we can add or subtract them. To do that, we have to find the least common multiple, the LCM, and that will be your common denominator. So to do that, let's go ahead and look at number 5. I have an example there, but let's look at number 5. We have 4 and 20. If we list our multiples of 4, we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. Remember, you can usually find that least common multiple within the first 6 multiples. Now, if we list our multiples of 20, we have 20, and we can stop when we have a multiple that is the same or common for both numbers. So in this case, it is 20. So we're going to change both of these fractions to 20ths. Okay, so we're going to rewrite them. Now, this fraction is already in 20ths, so we can leave it the same. We do not have to change that. Now, remember, when you are changing a fraction, whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. You cannot change just one part of the fraction. If you change the denominator, you have to change the numerator. Now, 20 was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth multiple of 4. So to change that 4 to a 20, we multiplied it by 5. So therefore we have to multiply our numerator 3 times 5, which gives us 15. So these two fractions, 3/4 and 15/20, are equal. So now we have a common denominator, and we can add them together. 15/20 plus 1/20 is 16/20. Now, it says in lowest terms. Try to do that if you can, so you can get in a habit of doing that. Remember, to reduce down or put a fraction in its simplest or lowest terms, you have to find the greatest common factor. And remember, factors are different than multiples. Factors are any numbers that you multiply together to equal a number. So the factors of 16 would be 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and if you remember the rainbow method, 1 and 16, 2 and 8, and 4 times 4. Okay, so these are your factors of 16, 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So we need to find a factor, the greatest or the highest factor of 16 and 20. So if we list our factors of 20, that's 1 and 20, that's 2 and 10, and that's 4 and 5. So our greatest common factor would be 4. And if we divide both numbers by 4, by our greatest common factor, remember, what you do to one, you have to do to the other. So if we divide 20 by 4, we get 5. And if we divide 16 by 4, we get 4. So 4/5 is in lowest terms. All right, let's do another one here. Of course, this number 12 down here, already we do not have to change these. They already have a common denominator of 17. So we can simply add 7 plus 1 is 8/17. Okay, and that would be in lowest terms because the only factors of 17 are 1 and 17. The same for number 4. They're both in ninths. So all we have to do is add our numerators. 2/9 plus 5/9 is 7/9, which is in lowest terms because 7, of course, only has two factors, 1 and 7. All right, so let's look at number 2. We have 1/6 plus 5/12. We're looking for the least common multiple, and the least common multiple of 6 and 12 would be 12. 12 is the first multiple of 12 and the second multiple of 6. So 5 twelfths is already in twelfths, so it does not need changed. We can leave it the same. We have to change 1/6 to twelfths. 12 was the second multiple of 6, so we multiplied 6 times 2. What we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. 1 times 2 is 2. So 1/6 is equal to 2 twelfths. Now we can add 2 twelfths and 5 twelfths, which is 7 twelfths. All right, let's turn over and do some subtraction, which is same rules apply. The least common multiple, we have to have a common denominator. If they're already the same, like number 5, we can simply subtract. 5 elevenths minus 3 elevenths is 2 elevenths. Now, if we have one where the denominators are different, we have to find that common denominator, and the least common multiple of 2 and 8, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 8, 16, but we can stop at 8. So we're going to change both of these fractions to eighths. 1/8 is already an eighth, so we can simply leave it alone. 1/2 equals how many eighths? Well, 8 was the fourth multiple of 2, so we multiplied 2 times 4. So we have to multiply 1 times 4. 1 times 4 is 4. So 1/2 is equal to 4/8. 4/8 minus 1/8 is 3/8. We'll do number 7. We have 11/16 minus 1/4. We're looking for that least common multiple or that common denominator. The least common multiple, the first multiple of 16 is 16, and the fourth multiple of 4, 8, 12, 16, is 16. So we're going to change both of these fractions to sixteenths. 11/16 does not need changed. It's already in sixteenths. 1/4 needs to be changed to sixteenths. So we're finding an equivalent fraction of 1/4 in sixteenths. 4 times 4 gives us our 16. What we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. 1 times 4 is 4. Now we can subtract. 11/16 minus 4/16 is 7/16. 8/9, let's look at number 11. 8/9 minus 8/9 equals 0. If you subtract 8/9 from 8/9, you are left with nothing. You have 0.